Awakening Wood.
Greetings. It should please you to know the purple Pikmin are lodged safely in my hull. The confines of my interior seem to suit them perfectly, though you occasionally tickle me. That's weird. Stand in the ring of light below me and press A to call the purple Pikmin out.
So, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pikmin 2. This time, we are in a new area, the Awakening Wood, and there is lots to do here. As we said, the purple Pikmin don't have their own onions, so they live inside the ship. I don't actually want to call them out quite yet. I want to just do a little bit more stuff here without them, kill some of these things, and there's actually a treasure here. I want to get stuff moving before we then actually focus on purples and what we need to do. So for now, I just want to kill this Bulborb. Once you've got more than like 30-ish Pikmin, precisely how many I brought, then you're generally fine. There's a treasure up here. There's a little strawberry, so let's set some Pikmin up on that. We'll set some lifting that dude back, because building up red numbers is always nice. As I say, we can't build up purple numbers in the same way. They can only be made from candy pop buds, so while that's all moving, let's pull out some Pikmin. So yeah, there's 10 Pikmin that can come out total. Brilliant. And what I want them to do... Oh! So, here's a nice feature of the Pikmin. Note, when they hit the ground, they do a ground pound. That hurts/stuns a lot of enemies, and it's great. I'm going to set the Pikmin working on this wall here. It's not ideal, but it's good to just have some people do some damage to that wall while I get on with other things. Plus was not the button I was aiming for, it's aiming for minus. There we go. So we're going to get a lot of reds produced here, which is fine. And I basically I want to get the business started on that gate. Ah, there we go. Strawberry has arrived, and this for 170 quid, that's pretty good actually, is the Sunseed Berry. Wonderful. Cross it off the visualizer. Thank you. And that is 10% of our total debt recovered. Nice. So they'll bring back this Bulborb, and I'm actually probably not going to pluck its contents immediately because they'll take time to, you'll notice they do take time to kind of produce and come down. These sheer wings can take them back. Note these berries here. These are of great importance. I'm going to basically put about half my Pikmin working on that one and the other half working on this one. I seem to have missed with that, with a significant number of these Pikmin. 3 dimensions are complicated, good one. So you'll notice the Pikmin will go up there and start wailing on the plants, and they'll start dislodging these berries as they do it. These berries are one of the most useful things in this game. So whenever you get a chance, always pretty nice to gather some of them. We're about to find out exactly what they do. So they only take 1 Pikmin each to bring the berries back, but it does take quite a few Pikmin to be able to successfully dislodge them. They'll grow back throughout the course of the day, so you can harvest them multiple times. But with that done, well, I should probably go back and actually do some plucking while the others work. Actually, you can go there, and the rest of you can all help. Oh, here we go. Right, the first one's back.
Astounding! This ultra red berry... red berry contains an ultra spicy essence. It does not appear to have any monetary value, but I will research potential uses for it. Bring me some more specimens.
In total, he wants 10, actually, so I'm going to set all these Pikmin on the... not on the wall there, as I intended to. But yes, the other 10 are all inbound at the moment, because each plant always contains 5. So we can always guarantee to get 10 there, and this dude here, I believe, is bringing back our 10th one. There's a massive spider on my wall in real life. Don't know why I added that in, but hey, with our 10th one here...
Captain Olimar, my research on the red berries you discovered has yielded a powerful potion. Behold the ultra spicy spray! Although untested, I believe it will have spectacular results. Spray it on all your Pikmin by pressing 2. Give it a try. When necessary, I can produce 1 bottle of spray from 10 berries. Press plus to contact me and confirm your berry count.
So this spray is very handy. We won't be using it for a while, but it's very useful to have, you know, just in case. I'm going to pluck these remaining Pikmin, and that brings our total up to 88 on the field, which is pretty good. We can actually only hold a maximum of 100 out on the field at any point. Beyond that, you can store as many as you want in the onion, but that you do have a bit of a limitation there. This grass is very useful. You'll notice when I bring my Pikmin over to it, they will start plucking it. Something occasionally comes out of this grass, which is of great use to me. Come on, lads. You can do this. Really? That's how we're going to slice this as a game? There we go. So, you'll notice this nectar has appeared from it. And I'm not going to do anything with it yet, but I'm going to grab some of my other Pikmin, actually. Specifically, I want to focus my purples on this. This is actually nearly down. I'm going to use these remaining dudes to actually focus on getting a few more sprays. Because if we get these 2 sets of 5 here, that's a nice bit of spray, which is pretty good. I want to separate these guys into colours, take the purple ones, and then Louis, you can take the remaining reds there, have them focus on the gate, which is wonderful. Olimar, you're going to go over here with the purples, and you're going to demonstrate exactly how the nectar works. So you'll notice Pikmin have leaves on their head. Not the most astute observation ever, I know, but you'll notice Pikmin are also very slow. They struggle to keep up with you. This nectar has a very wonderful property for Pikmin. Swarm them onto it with the D-pad, and they'll suck it down.
The Pikmin that drank the yellow nectar instantly matured into flower Pikmin. It appears to have enhanced motor skills. What a wondrous nectar. How intriguing, like plants Pikmin mature, from leaf to bud to flower. Captain Olimar, you must share this information with your subordinate Louis.
So yes, nectar will instantly mature any Pikmin that drink it into flower Pikmin, and that's very useful. There are 2 ways of getting flower Pikmin. You can leave Pikmin in the ground until they, like when they're planted, and they'll mature into it. Obviously for purple Pikmin, that can't happen because you can never really get them planted in the ground and time doesn't pass enough in caves for that to happen. So the only way to get purple Pikmin flowered up is to use nectar. There are a couple of ways of getting nectar, and getting it in bushes there is one of them. That there is our 10th berry again, so that gets us a 2nd spray. I will be using those sprays this episode at some point, don't worry. I'm going to pull the remainder of this grass and see if I can get another chunk of nectar out. Ah, did you hear that little sound going diddle-dum? That's useful. What that means is that... Oh, another bit of nectar, wonderful.
Louis, has Olimar instructed you on the peculiarity of Pikmin creatures? The Pikmin form groups based on colour when disbanded with C. Grabbing Pikmin with A will also cause them to group by colour. Now for the bonus lesson. Press and hold A to pick up a Pikmin. Then press B to swap between different colours. This is the first time you have heard this. Olimar, remember to properly train new employees.
Yes, always useful. We'll swarm everyone here that can get onto it, onto the nectar. Decent number of flower Pikmin, always nice. They move. Oh wow, bloody hell! This is good. This is real good. Especially if I can get all my purples flowered. At least I'm happy because I've got one who's still. Oh no, it's one red Pikmin. That's fine. Yeah, purples are bloody slow when they're not flowered, so it can be a problem. The meter at the top is reaching halfway through the day, so we've got about half the day to go. I could get some sprays there, but I'm not going to. Note, I knocked that thing out of the air, and that dropped a nectar. That's the other way of getting it, is to kill honey wisps, which are those little things. You can never take their corpses back, but here's a new enemy, and I'm going to hold A, and then, like you said, press B to switch to purples. This thing here is a cloaking burrow knit, which will suck down your Pikmin. It's got a very movable tongue like that comes out and gets them. But if you, again, like a lot of enemies, if you swarm it, especially I used there the ground pounding ability of the purple Pikmin, very good. Now, look at these plants. They all look fairly normal. It's all very nice. Look at this one here. If I bring the camera in, you might see it even more. Note that it's got eyeballs on it. This is a very unusual plant. Let's go and trigger it. This freak is a creeping chrysanthemum, which might sneak up on you. You'll notice it's stunned. That's what I mean by the kind of purple Pikmin stunning effect. It is incredibly useful and is one of another number of just the incredible features of purple Pikmin that just make them so much better than any other Pikmin. It's wonderful. But my main focus is over here. We've got 64 Pikmin with us. Is this here a new cave?
Zzzt, bzzzt. Biological sensors are reacting violently. The readings are ominous. A beast of unknown power lurks in these depths. A large Pikmin group would be reassuring. My sound sensors are picking up hostile roars of many beasts. Expect dangerous encounters. Sensors are also showing extreme heat pockets. You may need flame-resistant Pikmin. But my records indicate no such data. Are my records incomplete?
Yes, they are, but we'll see that in a second. We've got all 64 with us. Halfway through the day, let's hop down into the Hole of Beasts. Oh, yes. So like I've said before, one of the big advantages of caves is you have as much time as you want, so I've always said take it carefully. So I tend to take a small kind of expeditionary force with me, mostly of reds at this stage. Purple Pikmin are very valuable to me, and I don't want to use them unless I strictly speaking have to. These things here that pop out of the ground are called shearwigs. Only the purple ones, the male ones, can actually harm Pikmin, and they can be surprisingly nasty, but the females are literally like they don't have mandibles, so they can push you around a bit, but they can't actually do any damage. The males can do some damage pretty quickly. Obviously, these guys are only worth like 1 coin each, 1 poco each even, but, I mean, together it's something. What I'm really after, though, oh, bloody hell, there's more of them, is this thing over here, is our first, and only indeed, treasure of this floor. Let's grab the Pikmin onto that, and then we'll basically get ready to head off. So, the layout of each cave is an interesting thing. It's actually random. It's random between game files, and if I literally saved, reloaded, and came down here, the layout would be random again. There's always several kind of, like, there's overarching patterns to it, but the actual real layout is, on where things are, is randomized, which is quite interesting. Anyway, we brought this thing back. Worth 1,100,000 pocos, this is the Stone of Glory, and you should obviously recognize what it is. With that, we hear the little sound, which means we're all good, so let's hop down to the next level. So, this level is actually what we call a rest floor. You get it occasionally. No treasures, no enemies. It's just nice and easy. We've got this egg over here, you'll see. Eggs can have a lot of useful things in. They can also occasionally have some bastarding things in. Chuck a Pikmin over to it and it'll start breaking into it. Ah, good. This one has nectar in. Wonderful. Which means I will gather my men, and I don't think there are many of us left that aren't. Flower, I think there's only those 2, really. Come on, both get it. Yeah, there we go. There are circumstances which we will see before too long, I suspect, in which Pikmin can lose their flower. And he said they can be deflowered and then realise what that means. One of them is actually right here, quite frankly, so perhaps I shouldn't have used that nectar. But guess there's another set of ivory candy pop buds? Violet candy pop buds. So, of course, I'm going to convert to more purple Pikmin, because purple Pikmin are incredibly useful. Of course, these purple Pikmin, though, come as leaves rather than flowers. And you need time to pass for them to turn into buds and then into flowers before plucking them, and time doesn't pass properly underground, so we'll have to nectar these guys up at some point, and I really shouldn't have used that initial bit of nectar. But you know, I'm an idiot. Delve deep with your Pikmin? Yes, please. So here you'll notice there are heat traps. Red Pikmin are immune to heat, to fire, but purple Pikmin aren't. So I'm going to take my reds with Olimar, and the nice thing about reds is they can disable these fire jets, which will allow my purples to cross safely. But I'm basically going to do almost all of my exploration and combat on this floor, really, with reds, and I'll only bring in purples if I strictly need to, which I actually shouldn't. There's 2 treasures on this floor, so the layout is random, but where the treasures generally are and what they are is not random. So here, ow, Pikmin are fireproof, I'm not. If we get a couple on them, that should start bringing out that Mahjong tile. Wonderful, they can bring that back. And in the meantime, I can see actually the second one here. I'm just going to clear this area a little bit. Oh, or not. God, guys, come on. Really? Why are you not getting onto that properly? Well, you're being very slow taking that out. You guys can do that. Really? Come on. It's not that this matters anyway, because... Oh, there we go. So that Mahjong tile comes back, and it is indeed, for 150 quid, the Strife Monolith. Oh, Strife Monolith. Got the wrong way around. Strife Monolith. And then here's our final treasure of the floor, which all of my Pikmin should be able to take back. And, I mean, that's basically it at this point. So, speed her on, please. This looks like a floppy disk, but it's not, because it says Nintendo in big letters. This is actually, I believe it's a Famicom cartridge, though that never really came out in this country. But it's called the Cosmic Archive for 230 pocos. And as ever, We hear the sound, we hear him singing the theme tune, all is good, which means let's delve down to the next level with my Pikmin. So now we're down to sub-level 4, and as you'll notice, still not the bottom. This is more like your standard length that caves tend to be. Kind of 5-6 floors, that kind of thing. The first one it throws you is particularly gentle. And then we've got a red bulb here, which is, as ever, just fairly easy to kill by just leathering on. And when we kill him, he actually drops a treasure. I will get that in just a sec. The output is there, so that we can go to the next floor right away. There's nothing stopping you going to the next floor before you've got all the treasures, but as I say, you've got, in all but one cave, you've got as much time as you need, so why would you not take it? An ace of spades, which I'll take, and then also another violet candy pot bud. Whenever you see these, take it. Not only are purple Pikmin useful, but eventually, far in the future, we will need at least 100 purple Pikmin. So the more we can gather at an earlier stage, really, the easier we make our life there. And this is why you'll notice I am very protective over them, because between that, their heaviness and their lifting ability, they are by far and above the most useful Pikmin type in this game, so I guard them with my life, quite frankly. Anyway, for 140 quid, this is the Luck Wafer. Wonderful. The other treasure on this floor we've actually already seen, yeah, because it's a Game & Watch device which came out of that bulb. So let's slap you guys on there, and then slap my Pikmin onto there. That'll all get moving. Wonderful. Let's grab these guys. Oh, not you, Louie. I didn't want you. There's an egg over there which will hopefully contain some nectar. Another egg there. Oh, there we go. So, for 280 quid, there is your Dream Architect. Nice. And then we get the sound, which means we're at the end of the thing. You must be getting used to this by now, but hey, there we go. We'll just do a bit more business on making sure we've taken everything out. You can, of course, see the map down here and check that you've seen everything. Not that treasure will appear on that map or not, but it's more just for showing in case there's any areas that you've already missed. So with that all returned, I'm just going to check these eggs. Eggs can contain nothing, they can contain enemies, which is why I'm getting ready with purples. They contain a certain type of enemy, which purples is useful in fighting. And... ooh, 2, nice! Right, let's see if we can get everyone properly flowered from this. That's pretty nice, and let's get the remaining ones on this one. Come on guys, suck it down, suck it down. There we go, we've got all of them, wonderful. Well, let's just see what's in this one. We might get... There are a couple of useful things we can get as well beyond nectar. Oh, it's just nectar. Oh well. Still handy. We're still on 64 Pikmin overall, but we've turned a fair few more of them to purples, which is great. More purples, fewer problems. It's all excellent. And let's head down to sub-level 5. So this is the final floor, and... Do you hear that? Yes, so one of the interesting features of every single cave except for Emergence Cave is this. Their final floor contains something rather nasty. I'm going to take my purples, and only my purples, and I'm going to leave the rest here under Louis' command. In a lot of ways in Pikmin, less tends to be more. That you're better off using a few Pikmin, because large armies are difficult to command. This boss is best fought with purples. Introducing... Empress Bullblacks. She's hideous. We can throw our Pikmin onto her and she'll start taking damage. And when she starts shaking like that, call your Pikmin off. Get them all back to you quickly, because now she starts rolling around. And now is really time to demonstrate our new spray. So she rolls to the left, she rolls to the right, and then she'll roll back to the beginning. And when she goes here, I want to get maximum advantage from the Ultra Spicy Spray.
Astounding, the heads of the Pikmin are glowing, and they are extremely agitated. The Ultra Spicy Spray appears to increase Pikmin speed and attack power. What a discovery.
Always worth having a couple of these ready for specifically boss fights, because your damage output is incredible with them, especially with purples. Look at how much we're fucking rinsing her. Farted Pikmin. Yeah, when you use the spray, it goes and comes out the back of Olimar, so I always refer to it as a fart. Farted Pikmin are faster, their attack output is higher, they are faster than even flower Pikmin, they're incredibly useful, and with that, boss down anyway. Remember, every time you see a boss, oh god, I hate that. Remember, less is more. But we get something very useful.
How bizarre. This device is emitting black light. It must have been ingested by that creature. What an absolutely repulsive life form. Our return to Hockedate cannot come soon enough.
So, obviously the body drops. You will notice as well the fart is time limited and how long it lasts. And also there's a treasure. Other than one, every cave in the game has a boss at the end. And other than one, every cave has a useful item at the end. I say useful item. Remember when we got the sphere chart, which gave us the map to the next area? That's what I mean when I say useful item. Something that unlocks a useful feature outside of battle. We get 15 quid for the corpse, which is not bad at all, but this is really useful. This is probably the most useful power-up in the game. So this love tester is in fact the prototype detector. It's worth 200 quid, but it has a far more useful function.
This contraption seems to react when it approaches treasure. I will connect it to my radar. Processing complete. The treasure gauge is now operational. It will now appear on your monitor. The needle will move right as you approach treasure.
So, you'll notice we've got the treasure detector there, but it's gone grey. And that now means on this floor we've got all the treasure. It's useful in caves, it's useful in the field, it's incredibly useful anyway. And we now have the geyser that takes us to the exit. Wonderful. Wow, we got a lot of stuff there. We got 11 grand, 1,100's worth. And cave complete, that means we've got every single treasure on the way down, which is brilliant. If you take your time, you'll almost always be able to do that. And the nice thing is we have half the day left, which is brilliant. The less nice thing is it's been 20 minutes, and so weirdly, I never did this in Pikmin 1, because Pikmin 1 didn't have caves. But we're actually going to hold it there, so thank you very much for watching. We have got the prototype detector and explored the whole of Beasts. Next episode, we're going to be, ooh, look at that, 20% of debt recovered. We're going to be continuing to explore the Awakening Wood, and we've actually got another cave to do next episode, so I hope you'll join me then. Oh, I lost a Pikmin. What a bastard. I hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.